I just want to know where's my child going to be? Whose custody is she in right now? I just want to know where she's at so she's okay is all I'm worried about.
This is one I know this was the emergency order was not granted.
Okay. So will she be with her mother or because I don't know where she's staying at right now. I don't know where she's at.
Where is the child now? Is she with
Melissa Wenzel.
She took her, we don't know.
She has not been taken, Your Honor, if I may objection to that.
I
And
object.
Well, hold on, both of you just say. I just need to know, she's still here.
Yes, she is still in the state of
Okay.
Washington.
Okay.
So
Do you have
everything else you just do through the guardian ad litem.
I think that was one of the concerns that the other judge who looked at this initially was obviously there's some issues here. I've got a case, talk about this one, 24480-08, guardianship of Bailey Black. We have anybody here on that matter?
Here, Your Honor, Melissa Wenzel.
Morning. And
Alicia Black, Bailey Black's mom. Present.
Charles Black, Bailey Black's dad.
Okay. And let's just get into this. And this looks like this was just filed on Friday. Is that right?
Correct.
And did you folks get copies of all the paperwork?
The mother was able to be served by the sheriff's department. The father was unable to be served at the address that we have for him in California, and the minor child was served.
This is one I know this was the emergency order was not granted. So I guess let me just start quickly to the mother. Are you going to be contesting a guardianship at this time? You expect?
Yes.
Okay. And the father?
Yes, sir. I am as well.
And are you two together or are you
Divorced. I live in California. She lives up there in Washington.
okay? And the child is 16. So I'm going to need to there's a lot of process we have to go through to get these things going. So initially, I think, ma'am, I'm talking to mother first. So, and I don't have your name on my screen. So,
My name's Alicia.
okay, Alicia. And are you wishing to have, first off, do you wish to have an attorney?
I don't have the money for an attorney, so.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Correct.
And what would you say your average take home would be?
It's like $4,000 a month. I don't know.
Okay. Your take home pays that much?
Yeah, I run a store.
Okay. So that I don't believe is going to qualify for appointed counsel.
So I have can I ask you a question in regards to the order? Because part of the complaint is that Bailey needed medical insurance and I needed to partner with the CPS investigator, which I've done both things asked of me in the petition. Okay,
well, there's no orders entered right now. This is just a petition that's been filed. There's a request been made. So at this juncture, I assume I'm talking to Melissa. You're wishing to proceed on this at this point?
I am, and the minor child is also wishing to have a guardian ad litem assigned to them.
Okay. Well, I would be appointing a guardian ad litem today regardless. Just so we can, that's required under the statute anyway. She's 16?
Correct.
Okay. And let me ask, for the father, are you currently employed, sir?
Yes, sir.
And what would you say your take home pay is?
Take home a month is probably $3,400.
Okay. So I don't believe that you would qualify for, let me just double check something here. Been a lot of changes in these laws in the last few years, and I want to make sure we don't overlook something. So give me just a moment here. Yeah, neither of you would qualify under the indigent requirements. So I don't know if you're planning on hiring an attorney. You certainly have a right to do that. But that you wouldn't qualify under the rules for appointment. And generally, so what I'd be doing today is entering an order appointing a guardian ad litem for the child, who will then advise whether or not we need to get an attorney for the child, and that's a separate issue. Check. And the father's not been served yet. Sir, would you be willing to accept paperwork via email since you're down in California?
Yes, I wasn't aware of this until Saturday, Your Honor. I didn't know anything was going on. I've been out of the loop. I
Okay.
text my daughter every day. Yeah, no one told me nothing. So I went and filed paperwork yesterday, and I found out paperwork's already been filed. So yes, I can do it over email or whatever you want.
Okay. And so Melissa, do you have his email address?
I do not. He
Right.
is more than welcome for my phone number to be provided to him if he'd like. That can be public knowledge to him. He also has contact with the minor child. So
ma'am, why don't you, if you could, on the chat at the bottom of the screen, if you could send him your phone number directly to him, then you guys can connect and get paperwork on email.
should I send him my email or my phone number?
Whichever. However you want to do it. He needs to get copies of the paperwork, and if he's willing to do that via email, so I want to get everybody on board as quick as we can here so we can address the case. Obviously, there's some issues here.
Can you ask Mr. Black to please confirm that he received the number in the chat?
Yep, just got
Everybody
it.
received
Yep, just got it.
it to everyone.
Okay, so he's got that. So you guys can touch base, you can get an email address exchange, you can get him copies of all the paperwork, and then go from there. I guess my thought on this thing is I can get a guardian ad litem appointed. We could probably set this over even to next week.
Okay.
Take a look at it and make some determinations on temporary kinds of orders and things other than that.
Thank you.
All right. So, ma'am, you've received a copy of Melissa, excuse me, Alicia, you received a copy of the paperwork. So if you're going to be objecting, which you certainly have a right to do, if you would be able to put something together and send that in to us, to the clerk, as well as to the petitioner, what those objections are. And the same for the father, if you can do that as well, preferably sooner than later so it gets into the court file. And then like I said, I'll be appointing a guardian ad litem. I don't have that name in front of me right now because I've got to step out and talk to court administration to see who's next on our list for that. And then we can come back and talk about what we're going to do next on this case. And we can do that next week on the 12th.
At what time?
That'd be at 10:30 as well. It'll be a hearing just like this on Zoom.
Okay.
Okay. And so you can appear the same way. I'm sorry?
I have a question if I can, may I ask you something?
I can't give you legal advice, but I'll try and answer your question.
I just want to know, where's my child going to be? Whose custody is she in right now? Is she going to be out of the state of Washington? Because I've heard she's going back to California. I just want to know where she's at so she's okay is all I'm worried about.
Well, I'm not ordering any orders of placement today.
Okay. So will she be with her mother or because I don't know where she's staying at right now. I don't know where she's at.
Where is the child now? Is she
You don't, Melissa Wenzel.
She took her, we don't know.
She has not been taken, Your Honor, if I may objection to that.
Okay.
She was actually released to my care from St. John's Hospital after 11 days of hospitalization, both for COVID as well as for mental health. They were unable to get any type of correspondence with the mother.
I object.
Well, hold on, both of you just a second. I just need to know, she's still here.
Yes, she is still in the state of Washington.
Okay, so
the child has been in contact with both CPS daily as well as her counselor, and she has had contact with the father, letting the father to know her wishes. So everything else you just do through the guardian ad litem.
You have a place for her to stay in Washington.
Correct.
Okay, so she's apparently with Miss Wenzel until next week in Washington.
Yes, in Washington.
And then we'll make some decisions about that I think that was one of the concerns that the other judge who looked at this initially was the potential of moving the child to a different state, and we don't want to make any immediate changes till we get a little more information.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so you're going to get the father some paperwork so he knows what we're talking about. I'll get a guardian appointed. We'll come back in a week, and the child will stay in Washington, and then we'll see what the next steps are.
Thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So that'll be all today on this one.
1 week later.
All right. Good morning. We're on the record. We're just a minute or so early on the guardianship docket for the 12th of March. I could call one matter, I'm not sure which order this is, but it would be the Bailey Black guardianship, which is 24-480-08. I see we have Ms. Farr present. I see we have the petitioner, Ms. Winsell. And then we should have, got a few more people coming in here, so. Do we have either Charles or Alicia Black?
Charles is the father, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Ms. Farr, you'd requested this to be heard first. I know we just appointed you last week.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, just briefly, I have spoke with the child and with Ms. Winsell, and just very briefly with father. I've tried to reach mother, but her voicemail is full, and I haven't been able to get through to her. There's a couple of issues. One is, I believe we have a jurisdictional issue. There is a custody order in California, and my understanding is that Ms. Winsell, once she gets an order, intends to go back to California. So I believe that we need to have a conference with California to determine who has jurisdiction before we go any further.
Are the parents still in California?
I am, Your Honor, the father, yes.
Okay. So we definitely need to have that jurisdictional conference with the court down there before we can really do much of anything here.
In the interim, Your Honor, the child needs some mental health medications, and there's an issue with getting those medications without at least a temporary order in place. I believe that she has enough to last about 10 more days.
Okay, it looks like we have Mom on the screen as well. Good morning, ma'am. So we don't have an order in this case at all at this point. I do have the ability to enter an order under the temporary jurisdictional basis of the Guardianship Act, as well as under the UCCJEA.
No,
So, but we do need to have that conference before we could do anything much further. And that'll have to have court administration set that up with California. So I guess my first question, this is to the parents. Apparently there's a need for some sort of medication for your child, and they need to have somebody to sign for that, I assume. Is that correct, Ms. Farr?
I think that Ms. Winsell just needs the authority to help the child with her mental health and getting those medications refilled.
Okay.
So like an immediate order, temporary would probably do that. And the child has told me that she is fearful of returning to either parent. She wishes to stay with Ms. Winsell.
Okay. So let me hear from the parents. I'm going to start with Charles Black. Do you have any objection on at least until we can get jurisdiction sorted out, to allow Ms. Winsell to assist your daughter with getting any medication she may need?
I just want the best for my child. That's all I want right now. She currently does still have Medi-Cal in the state of California. I just, like I said, that this is just temporary, correct? Just to get her what she needs.
This is, I don't have any authority to do much of anything until we get the jurisdictional sorted out with California.
Okay. As long as she gets her meds, it's right now, that's all I really care about. I just want her taken care of. She's priority number one.
Okay. And Ms. Black, what's your thought on that? You're muted, ma'am, so I'm not getting any audio for some reason. Doesn't say you're muted, but I'm not hearing anything.
might not have connected when she entered
Her phone's been messing up, Your Honor, so I'm not sure.
I'm sorry?
Her phone's been messing up a lot lately, so maybe it's a malfunction
All right.
or something.
Ms. Black, can you give me either a thumbs up or thumbs down if it's okay to facilitate getting your daughter whatever medication she needs right now? So you're opposed to that? Okay, I'm still not hearing you. I'm not sure what our audio problem is.
I have to exit out and then come back in.
Can you log out and log back in? Let's see if we can get that audio to work. We'll hold off until we get you back in. So give us just a second till we can get her back on.
She may not get back on, Your Honor. She was pretty upset earlier when I spoke with her.
Well, she's back on. She's coming back in. Sometimes takes a minute to get the technology doing what we want it to do. I'm not getting audio still, Ms. Black. So, Mr. Black, you'd indicated you've spoken with her,
Yes, sir.
and are you able to? I
I'm
guess.
sure she would agree with me on the child's health and safety to have medication, yes.
Okay, good. She gave me a thumbs down on that question. That's my concern.
Okay. Well, she doesn't want our child with her sister at all, and I understand that, but right now it's all about Bailey, and that's the only thing we need to be focusing on is the child's health, you know what I mean?
Your Honor, this is Melissa Wenzel. Can I make a statement really quick?
Sure.
So Bailey was previously seen through St. John's Hospital. They had prescribed her medication. So I would not have anything to do in regards to what's prescribed or any say in regards to that. Bailey can work directly with Core Health as long as her insurance information that her mother now states is being provided, that information be shared with Bailey. And then Bailey could make that appointment for herself and be able to get her medication for herself if her insurance information is given to her.
Okay. So at this juncture, you do not need a guardianship for her to get the medicine, is that?
So in regards to any type of additional needs, we would, but Bailey's also requesting that she have her own insurance information. She had spoken to CPS, and CPS states that mom claims that she did gain insurance for her in the state of Washington. And so the minor child is also requesting to just be able to have that policy number or whatever the information is based upon the insurance provided to her as well.
Okay.
Because regardless, we're going to need that information for her to seek any type of medical attention.
Okay. So I think she's now logged back out. I'm not getting her back in. So I think, Mr. Black, based on is there a custody order in California? Do you have custody or does she have?
It's it's joint custody between me and Alicia Black, my ex-wife. So if they're not in school, they can go with her. If they are in school, they got to stay with that parent until they're not in school. I do have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
Is there a way we could do any kind of welfare check on my daughter? I haven't seen her. I know that Sherry has, but I strongly believe that my daughter is back in California because they don't know anybody in the state of Washington. My ex-sister-in-law, I strongly believe that they're in California, and I'm not being told the truth.
Your Honor, if I could, currently Bailey has reached out to the ESS program, and she has been assigned a CVAP advocate, and she has met with her as recently as yesterday out of Cowlitz County. We are currently residing in the state of Washington and will continue to remain in the state of Washington until any other jurisdiction is decided.
Okay. Ms. Farr, are you able to do a check on her?
I talked with her yesterday. She is in California. I'm sorry. She is in Washington, and she is fine. She is with Miss Wenzel, and she feels safe with Miss Wenzel, and she is still attending school here.
Okay.
One of the concerns about the medication is that Bailey recently spent 11 days in the hospital, and her mother would not respond to approve of medications.
Okay.
So that's the other reason I believe we need an immediate order giving Ms. Wenzel some authority.
Okay. Well, based on the information I have, it sounds like, she's coming back here. It sounds like you have joint custody, so you would have authority to authorize that. And it sounds like you're okay having Ms. Wenzel kind of help her until we get this sorted?
As long as she gets her medication, she's taken care of it. That's all I care about, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, I think, Ms. Black, can you hear me?
I can now hear you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. So you were saying you didn't wish to have anybody assisting your daughter take care of medicine refills?
So I have established insurance for Bailey, so she shouldn't need someone to sign for her.
Does she
feel
have?
like if Bailey needs to be on medication, that maybe she should be in a facility because she's not making good choices right now.
Does she have the insurance information?
I'm not able to contact Bailey, but I can get the insurance information to someone representing Bailey.
Okay. Well, right now, that would be Ms. Farr because she's the appointed guardian the guardian ad litem, essentially, or court visitor. So, are you able to get that information to her?
I am.
Okay. Okay. There's a lot of things going on in this case. One is jurisdiction. Until I can establish that this court, that Washington has the ability to move forward, which we'll need to do with a conference with California because of the orders out of that state. My concern right now is make sure that we've got whatever Bailey's immediate needs are covered so that if she needs some assistance, someone can assist her with that. So what I'm inclined to do, let me see. Ms. Farr, I know you're in another hearing in Clark County. How much time would you need to have more information report back to the court?
About what? Because we would need to do the UCCJEA first.
Right. We're going to need to do that. I don't know how, probably could do that hopefully next week or if we can get that organized. Which county is that order out of?
Sutter.
Sutter County? Okay. Do we have any information on the case number at all?
So perhaps one of the parents can share that. I don't have that information.
Do either of you have that possibly?
I think it might be in my office in my dresser.
I can work on getting that and get that information to you.
Okay, so it'd just be to court administration so we can contact that court and get that set up. We may be able to, I'll have them reach out today and see if we can determine that regardless. We do have the parents' names, so they may be able to just look it up that way. So I guess my thought is maybe to set this out about 2 weeks so we can get that accomplished.
And then perhaps I'll be able to speak with both parents within that time period as well and get some more information.
Okay, and if we can get the insurance information, Ms. Farr, so that can get to Bailey so we can make sure she doesn't run out of any medicine or anything. And then we'll be able to move this in a better direction. So I think what I'm going to do on this 2 weeks from today will be the 26th. It'd be at the same time. It'd be a Zoom hearing as well. I'm not going to order any custodial orders. I am going to authorize if Bailey needs any assistance, an adult to sign something, I'm going to authorize Ms. Wenzel until we get to that hearing to do that. If Bailey has her insurance information, given Washington's laws, she should be able to access any medical or mental health services without an adult involved, as long as she has that insurance information. So if we can get that to Bailey, I'll have my staff work on the jurisdictional conference. We'll get that set up. Hopefully we could do that next week. And then when we come back in 2 weeks, we'll be able to make some decisions about what we can and can't do.
Perfect. And
that
Ms.
work?
Black, if you could reach out to me this afternoon, because I have not been able to get through.
All right, so Ms. Black, you'll get the insurance information to Ms. Farr.
So am I able to know where Bailey is at in the meantime, since I haven't had any contact with her?
She's in Washington, as I understand it.
Will she be staying in Washington until the next hearing?
That's what we would be doing. She's not going anyplace until we get this sorted. Because I don't know if I have any jurisdiction to order her to stay here at this point.
No, but until the next hearing, she is to stay in Washington State, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we'll come back on the 26th, and I will have my staff get a UCCJEA set up. We will let parties know about that. You're welcome to attend that hearing. Those are a Zoom hearing with California. I don't know what day or time that'll be. That'll be whatever we can arrange with their court. So, and I don't know if I'll be doing it or another judge will be doing it. It's just a conference to determine jurisdiction. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I'll get those orders out, and then we'll be back on the 26th at 10:30. Okay.
All right, question, Your Honor, real quick before we leave.
Sure.
I wrote my statement out. I was not aware that I had to mail it in. Is there an address or anything I can mail that to you guys?
Did you receive some paperwork on this case, sir?
I did receive the paper from Melissa Wenzel, yes, the court documents. I didn't receive any address or nothing to see.
There should be on the summons, there should be the return address.
Okay. I'll go through it here shortly, and then if there is, I can send that to that, correct?
Correct.
Just mail it in, okay.
Yep, I just make sure it's got the case number on it so we make sure we get it in the right place.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. All right, that'll take care of this case for today. Then we'll be back on the 26th at 10:30.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
2 weeks later.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Black matter, Bailey Black, which is 24480-08. I know Ms. Farr is aware of the hearing we had. I'm not sure who else is. I see Mr. Black, I believe, is present.
Ms. Wenzel?
And Melissa is as well. And is Alicia with us? Don't see her on my list. So we had a hearing, which I believe was Monday, and I had a conference hearing with Judge, just a minute here, which judge was that? I believe it was the judge out of California. And based on, that was Judge Santana out of California, excuse me. Based on the fact that there is or was a dissolution that was entered in California, which gives California ongoing continuing jurisdiction on anything having to do with custody of Bailey. This court in Cowlitz County, Washington, does not have jurisdiction to move forward. We discussed it at some length, and Judge Santana did not want to waive jurisdiction. And for the UCCJEA, they have jurisdiction. So at this point, I'll be entering I can't proceed here. If we're going to do anything further, it'll need to happen in California. So you may want to get some legal advice if you wish to proceed on the process. We just can't do it here.
Yes, so we are going to go ahead and proceed filing in California, as well as the opportunity for Bailey's working with an advocate right now.
Okay.
And wants to seek her own minor counsel. So they will be cross-referencing her to another program local in California. We're proposing at this time, Your Honor, that you put a temporary order into place, possibly for about 4 weeks, so that way we could proceed in California, file all documents that are necessary, and so that way Bailey can continue to be provided care and seek counsel.
So, check here. Mr. Black, any Any objection to leaving in place the essentially a temporary order, which would be an emergency jurisdiction since she's here without somebody to kind of take care of her until they can get paperwork filed in California?
Well, if it's going to be down here, I think everything should happen down here.
Well, it will. That we wouldn't be ordering anything other than giving Melissa Wenzel the ability to help your daughter do what she may need to do to affect whatever she has to do here.
We would be proceeding with everything in Sutter County as proposed by the judge yesterday, because I did sit in on that hearing. And so I'm just asking for the timeline to be able to be accommodated because Bailey would like to have her own minors representation, as well as I did contact the courts there, whether we choose to be able to facilitate with an emergency ex parte hearing, that could take some time on their calendar, as well as if we're not granted the time for an emergency ex parte hearing, their calendar is out about 4 to 6 weeks. So that's why I'm asking that you grant temporarily for that time. And then Bailey, we will return to California. She can get established with her own personal advocate and minors counsel to be assigned, and the documents to be filed out of Sutter County.
Ms. Farr, do you see any issue with that? I know you're pretty much done on the case at this point, but
I am, and I actually talked with Father this morning, and he understands that Bailey needs some protection in place. At least he relayed that to me until things can proceed further in California. I think it's appropriate to have an emergency order in place, providing her some kind of care, especially with the mental health issues that she has, until the California court can hear the reasons why a guardianship should be put in place.
okay. Is there contact going on between Mr. Black and Bailey at this point?
So Mr. Black says that he contacts her daily by text to let her know that he is there for her. My understanding is that Bailey doesn't want contact and doesn't respond. Same thing with the grandmother. I understand that the grandmother who lives in California also may be filing a petition for guardianship. Bailey does not want to live with the grandmother either. I know that there's some family issues with Miss Wenzel. Without getting into what those are, because I don't think that that has anything to do with what's going on right now. I just think that the child does need some kind of adult, an adult in charge of her that has decision making, especially because of her mental health. She's very vulnerable right now.
All right. Well, I think what I'm inclined to do, we will be dismissing this case, not today, just simply because of the circumstances. I'll extend the emergency order. I'm not going to restrict Mr. Black if he wants to send her texts, as long as those are appropriate. I think it's not bad for her to know he's out there and is concerned. And what my thought is, given the timeline in California, they seem, my suspicion is, as long as if they know that jurisdiction is there and the orders will be ending here, they'll probably do what they can to accommodate it. I think what I'll do is I'm going to extend this out to the 30th, which is the end of next month. That order will, at that time, I'll enter a dismissal order on that docket. So let California know that you've got a deadline to get things moving down there.
That's April 30th, Your Honor.
Oh, that is judicial conference. Okay. Well, I'm going to go to the 7th of May then. Apparently that's conference, and I know I'm out that whole week. So the 7th of May.
Sorry, you said May 7th.
I'm sorry?
You said you're going to extend that to May 7th?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
And that just gives authority to take care of what her needs are between now and then. If an order is entered in California, if you could make sure that a copy of that is forwarded to my clerk with this case number referenced, and once we receive that, we will dismiss this case, if that's prior to that time. assuming you've got things going down there, there's probably no need for anybody to show up on the 7th. If I don't see anybody, I'll just dismiss at that time.
There is
Okay.
one other issue, Your Honor, and that is that they will be leaving for California in the next few days to get down there and get this started. But Bailey's belongings are at her mother's house and they're having a hard time retrieving those belongings. Is there a way we can put something in the order that allows Bailey to retrieve her belongings?
Bailey has stated that she's okay in retrieving her belongings with the presence of her older sibling. That way there's no confrontation between me and Alicia, and she's willing to meet Alicia at her place of business to do so, or Alicia's significant other at Alicia's place of business,
Okay.
which is the Dollar General in Rainier.
So you think you can work that out?
There's no communication with the mother.
No, it sounds like there's a methodology to take care of that. Certainly she's got the ability to get her stuff if I don't know that I have jurisdiction to order mom to do a whole lot at this point because of the jurisdictional issue. So but she certainly, as long as you can work out the details through the older sister, she's certainly got the ability to get her things.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So I'll extend the order to May 7th. Hopefully you'll have things in place by then down in California.
Yes.
And if we'll go from there.
Thank you so much.
And then, Your Honor, will you be signing the order discharging me as of today?
I will. You sent me and I did approve, I think already, your fees that you sent over.
It
So,
was all in one order, the fees and the discharge. Yeah.
oh, that was all in the same order. I didn't see the discharge. And you've been discharged.
I hope I put that in there.
If not, I'll put it in the temp order. I already filed that, so I don't have it.
It is in there. It was under number 3 that I was
Okay.
discharged as of today.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That'll be all on this case. Good luck, folks.